Hello Oracles! What a wild day we had today. Tesla swinging 6% over the course of the day, bouncing hard off of that support level we had down at that 206 to 207 level, and then coming back up and recovering to finish up 2% on the day, despite the fact that we got some hotter than expected CPI data that came in. Now before we dive into all the numbers that we had seen today for CPI and for Tesla, I wanted to welcome the newest member, Michael Romero, to the channel, and I wanted to thank you guys so much for being members. Today I had an incident at work, reminded me of why I am doing this and why I'm working so hard. My job basically giving me the option to choose between my child or my job. That is a no-no for me, and that reminded me of the reason why I started this channel in the first place, and that is to be able to help others become financially free themselves so they never have to make that choice. This is something I am doing for myself to be able to give it and pass it along to my son so he never has to make that choice in the future. And one of the things I'm offering to all the members as well, because this is something I am so passionate about, is I'm going to give you guys some coaching and education if you guys so choose and want it, to help you go through everything I have gone through to get myself out of debt to where I am now to become financially free, so that you guys don't have to make that choice in the future. So if you guys are a member, no matter what level you are at, I'm going to be providing a lot of this content for you guys to help you along the way as well. So lots of Tesla stuff over there also, but it's going to be part of this as part of that membership program as well. And no, for total transparency, again, I am not a financial advisor. Any information I give to you guys to help you is just some coaching from experience that I have had with myself over the last 5 to 10 years. And so if you guys do want to become members, that link will be down in the pinned comment below. So thank you guys all so much again for being members. Moving on to all the information we got today. So CPI data came in hotter than expected. Now, we have been trending down. So the expectations today were 8.1%. We came in at 8.2%. The core data is really the important information that we are looking at, and we were expecting a 6.5% year over year number. We got 6.6%. We were expecting a 0.5% month over month number, and we got a 0.6%. So that was the initial dip in the morning that we had gotten, was off of these numbers, and then we got that strong bounce. So of course we saw pre-market that the numbers came in hotter. We saw pre-market everything was pulling down, and then we got that hard bounce. And it wasn't just Tesla, it was the entire market. All of the indices bounced off of a strong support level. So again, this to me shows market manipulation that's out there, and a lot of the reason we bounced is because of short covering. There was a lot of shorting going on in the market recently with all of the FUD and news that we had going on. So when you start to look at the sentiment and all the different pieces of the puzzle that get put together, we've been hearing about all of this FUD, all of this noise that's going on in the market, market-wide, Tesla-wide, pulling everything down. Then all of a sudden they cover their shorts, they make a ton of money, and they buy back in and come back up. This is how the market gets manipulated. If you've ever seen Jim Cramer talking about this in the past from a hedge fund manager standpoint, they do this intentionally. They will drive the market down to make money on the way down, and then they'll turn the story around and whoop, bring these things back up. This is how it operates. So just to know this, if you play in the market, you can do that. I'm not one, I'm just a long-term investor. I put money in and I hold. So for me to be able to know this information helps me with my emotions, because now I understand why things like this happen. So I know these things, I can't do anything about it. If you want to be a person who can maybe swing trade with it, good luck, to each their own. Go ahead and try it. Just make sure you do your own due diligence. It is a risky investment to be a swing trader, but all investing is risky. There's always risk to being an investor. There's risk to not investing. You guys do what you feel is best for you, but as you can see, the market does get manipulated by things outside of our control, so just make sure you're aware of that. So now looking at the numbers that we actually had gotten in, and again, we are seeing a trend down. So have we hit a peak when it comes to inflation? We very well may have. So looking at the numbers that we had 9.1% back in July, then we came down to 8.5% in August, 8.3% in September, and 8.2% here in October. So we have been trending down despite the fact that we have been higher than expectations. So again, we're moving in the right direction. As slow as we are moving in that right direction. So now we do want to make sure that core is coming in this direction and we continue this trend coming down. But because of the numbers we got today, it almost assuredly guarantees that we are going to be getting another 75 basis point hike on November 2nd. So that is going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. We will find out for sure. But judging by these numbers, I think that's what we're going to get. So the little bit of a rally that we had seen today, is this going to be a rally that is going to continue? I'm going to say probably not. We're going to check day to day and check the data by data going on. But again, we've talked about it before. We're not going to see a true rally and turnaround in the market until the Fed does decide to start coming down with interest rates. And that is not going to happen until we see inflation come down at least below 4% or seeing it trending significantly in that direction. And when we see it trending significantly down, we might see the Fed pause, but probably won't end up doing a U-turn until we do see that number continuing to come down despite the Fed not making any movements. So we'll probably see a 75 basis point hike in November, maybe a 50 basis point hike in December, and then come the new year, we'll probably see a pause going on with the Fed. We'll see them wait and kind of see how things fan out. So now again, when you're looking at the interest rates, it's not like when they raise the interest rates, it takes effect immediately. It takes 3 to 6 months for that to affect the market. So right now we are starting to see the effects of the rates that they went up in March and May. And in March, they went up 25 basis points, and in May, they went up 50 basis points. So they were pretty dovish to start. Kind of wish they were more hawkish then. Obviously, can't go back in time and change it, but that's where we're at now. So what we're starting to see in the market right now is the effects of a 75 basis point hike over those two interest rate hikes. Then in June, July, and September, we have seen 75 basis point hikes in each one of those respectively. So right now, we are at an effective rate of 3 to 3.25%. The Fed usually likes to be there at the highest. They like to be between 2 and 3% for an interest rate. So now for them to be pushing up another 75 basis point hike, perhaps in November, pushing us to near 4%, that'd be 3.75 to 4% for a Fed fund rate. That is higher than they want to be. But again, inflation is also higher than where we want to be. So we've got to pull this down. So if they do a 75 basis point hike in November, that will put us at that 3.75 to 4% rate. And then if they do another 50 basis point hike in December, that'll put us at just about 4.5% at the high. So right now, the Fed has told us that come the end of the year, they're looking to have the rates about 4.6%. So that will be close. If we get a 0.5, that'll be just below what they're shooting for. Now, don't forget, when we get this information that comes in, the market usually prices in all of this along the way. So when we get the answers that we're looking for, and again, we talked about it before, the market has a lot of questions. We're waiting for answers. So the question right now is the Fed going to be raising the rate 75 basis points in November? If that's the case, we're most likely going to be seeing a 50 basis point hike in December, and all of that will be priced in. So when we actually get the information, we might see the market go up because we have our answer. And now, of course, if we get CPI data that comes out in November and gives us a different story, and maybe we do come down significantly, at that point, maybe we end up seeing a turnaround sooner. So again, just following data point to data point, this is what the Fed says that they are doing. None of us can really control what the Fed is doing at the moment. All we can do is listen to what they're telling us and kind of invest accordingly. Again, being somebody who's just a long-term investor, I'm just adding every single day. You know, I pay attention to the news all the time just so I can see and learn about what's moving on and off with the market. But honestly, for me as a long-term investor, just adding every day, buying, holding, not a big deal. You know, it's going to be fine long-term in my opinion. We'll see how this all plays out. And now with Tesla pulling down as it did today, we bounced off of the lows of the year. So earlier the low of the year was $620. We hit that 206 and change level, which is basically the same low that we had back in June. So now that we've bounced off of that low again, we've hit a double bottom. So we will be paying attention to how the market moves from here. And we were talking about it before, but the levels of support, when those break, they end up becoming levels of resistance on the way back up. So we were sitting at that 215 level, broke below that, hit 206, came back up at intraday, and then we ended up hitting that 220 to 223 level. That is the new resistance that we have because that was the previous support that we had. So that's now where we are at. So we are looking to break through this 223 level, and we'll see how we trade tomorrow. So again, if we do end up continuing a little bit of a rally coming in, maybe we do break through that and move up to the next level, which is 235. And today, when we dipped down to those levels, I did add $20 at 208. So that was really nice for me to be able to add there. I caught that bottom as we were there. Now, again, I start to get FOMO in the other direction. Now, FOMO is something we a lot of times talk about when the stock is running up. And the stock is running up to a higher price. People are like, oh, I want to buy now because I want to catch it before it runs any further. I have taught myself, and I've just noticed recently that I get FOMO on the way down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, have we hit the bottom? Do I want to buy here? Do I want to dump everything in, or do I want to wait? And you got to have patience because previously, I admit, I thought 245 was going to be the bottom for us. I was wrong. We did end up pulling down further. Where now we've hit 206 as an intraday bottom. Are we going to go below that? Again, I don't know, but this is why I play the strategy that I have. And it has now worked out to be a really nice balance that I have going on. So I have about 69% of my portfolio in Tesla. It was over 70, but when the stock price pulls down, it naturally pulls down the percentage of my portfolio. So right now it's at 69% and my cash is around 8%. I do not want to go below 5% in cash. So as Tesla starts to dip below that 69% level, I will add more in naturally. When I see prices that I like at the levels that we hit, so I had my price target set down at that 206 to 208 level, we hit that, I bought in. My next one below that is going to be at $200. If we do end up pulling down below this, I will put money in at that $200 level. Now, as we're going back up, I will add my $25 daily and I will just continue to monitor, because if the stock keeps going back up, it's going to be pushing my percentage higher. So I'll end up over 70, 71, 72% just because I'm adding and the price is going back up. That doesn't bother me at all. That just means that I will not be adding extra at those moments. I will be adding more money to my cash stockpile to be able to build that up. So if we do get another dip that comes in, I will have even more cash to add lower. Now again, not financial advice, this is just my strategy that I'm doing, but this has worked out very well for me over the course of the year. I am almost up to 40 shares now, and I just keep on accumulating. As a kid, I always loved collecting things, and right now I like collecting shares of Tesla stock. That is my thing right now. I'm trying to do everything I can to collect as many as I can as we're moving along. And to me, it's really exciting to see these things, and I see my numbers going up more and more. So if the stock price pulls down, I want to see it go to the moon, but I can add so much more for so much less at these lower prices. So I get really excited when it pulls down to these levels, because I know we will turn around and come back up. And when we do end up coming out of this, it's going to move up quickly, and I'm not going to be able to add as many as I can now. So this is why I'm adding as much as I can at these low prices, and why I'm so excited to have them down at these levels. So all in all, I think today was an awesome day. I got to buy nice and low early, and then we rallied and ended up finishing green. So anybody who was actually just swinging on a one-day trade, if you bought early and sold late, you made 6% on your money, and congratulations, that's pretty darn awesome. So again, let me know in the comments below if you guys ended up doing that today. For me, I just bought low and I'm holding even longer. And this is in turn bringing my cost basis down. So my cost basis is now down to 260, 367, and I'm just continuing to bring that down as we go along. So once I build up to another full share, and with these low prices, it's going to happen pretty darn soon, and I'll get to my 40th share pretty soon. And when that happens, it'll bring my cost basis down even more. And let me know your thoughts about inflation. How do you feel about the numbers that came out today? Do you think that the expectations are just unrealistic expectations, and you're just happy with the fact that inflation is pulling down? For me, I am. I think that we have hit the peak. I think we're trending down. We're moving in the right direction. So I think we are going to be coming out of this within the next year. So you guys let me know in the comments below what you think, if you think we're going to be coming out of this in the next year, and if you think the Fed is going to U-turn sooner than expected. And again, if any of you are working on trying to get yourselves out of debt or work yourself to financial freedom, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can certainly help you with experience I have. I've gotten myself from $75,000 in debt to a near six-figure net worth right now where I'm at in about 5 years. So I can give you some coaching and guidance as a member, just because this to me is something I'm very passionate about, and helping others get to that point. So I will dedicate my time to help you guys, to help you get yourselves to financial freedom, so you never have to make that choice that I am having to make right now between work or my child. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. If you found value in this video, please consider sharing it with others. We do have that membership program. You can sign up down in the pinned comment below. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is also in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon. Thank you so much. Have a great one.